How was R&B?
R&B was a great experience, to be honest. Yeah, I played three sets there. Yeah, two on the small stage called the Grand Central, which was kind of like near a bunch of food trucks and stuff. It was pretty chill, really. And then I also played on the Georgia Film Chiller. Georgia Film Chiller, I think, was probably the highlight because I opened that up on the first night, went from absolutely nothing to just heaving, like proper full.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it was that was really good. I kind of also was like a bit more kind of how you say it, like diverse with the genre I was playing. Usually I'm pretty strict on my sort of tech house sort of thing, but this time I went a bit faster, kind of different sort of avenues and stuff, which was really cool. And also my second set that I played on the Grand Central stage was actually like during like the peak thunderstorm that was happening at the festival. So it was pretty crazy. Like first like hour and a half, I had absolutely nothing, and then all of a sudden, like 40 people just kind of started turning up. It was still
Yeah.
raining hard and stuff. It was really cool. It was a really cool experience. Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess with festivals, people don't really want to. There's the people who don't want to be there in the rain, and then there's the people who have drunk so much that they don't even notice it's raining. And I feel like
Oh yeah.
I don't reckon there's an in between there. I think it's just one or the other. Kind of.
Oh, definitely, bro. I definitely. Yeah, it was kind of a surreal feeling. It's like, damn, these people have just kind of come in here, like they probably don't even really know who I am, but they're out here in the rain, just absolutely loving the music. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
You mentioned that Rhythm and Vines, you sort of moved away a little bit from the sort of tech house genre you like to stick to. What kind of genres, aside from tech house, do you go for?
Yeah, well, I've always been attracted to kind of like your faster sort of trance music because my dad used to play a lot of that back when I was younger, and I've always liked that, and I've kind of taken a bit of like the modern sort of trance music and kind of like yeah speed up to it in my recent sets. I'll go from like my kind of 130 where I'm at with tech house, and then speed up to the 145-ish, 150 BPM sort of stuff. And I quite enjoy adding a bit of that in there because it really like it has quite a I guess a bit of meaning to me. Like yeah, I also kind of dip into like a bit of speed garage as well, just because like here in New Zealand people love that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I also like specifically made a song that like it was a remix of one of my songs, Falling Deep. I'm not sure if you've heard that one. And it starts at like 126 or whatever it is and speeds up and goes into trance. So I like made an edit of that. I'm not sure if I will ever release that, but it's just like that cool thing that I just put in my sets to kind of bridge the two worlds, I suppose.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, New Zealand does have a very, we've got like a massive sort of EDM scene here, a lot bigger than a lot of other places because I don't know, it's just something here that people really seem to enjoy. Like it's a great sort of category of genres. Um, what's your sort of, I guess, relationship like with the EDM drum and bass sort of community?
Yeah, because I kind of like really properly like started trying to get into it like at the start of or start of last year now. Um and I was just kind of like I used to like really be into my drum and bass, but then I kind of just decided like I'm not sure if I just want to like be like everyone else, if you know what I mean. Because like
Yeah.
you have literally everyone in like around, and they just like play drum and bass on their decks. Like I just kind of wanted like I guess I wanted to stand out, so I kind of moved into house music because there's not quite as much of that around here in New Zealand. Like it's mostly drum and bass. I've found.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of that kind of made my thing. I was like, yeah, I want to push a bit more house music, like kind of. Yeah, that was kind of like my thing. Up until recently though, when I've actually started going to more festivals and I've seen there's actually a lot more than just drum and bass. Yeah, I think I was just really stuck in that sort of space, and but now I'm like out a bit more open, can see everything, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with sort of, I might be wrong here, but I feel like EDM's sort of just like a category of a bunch of different genres, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
EDM's just kind of like just your umbrella for all your electric dance music was what it stands for. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a very sort of niche all over the place sort of category. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, but no, New Zealand, as you mentioned, very good community here for that kind of music. What is your favorite part of being in the drum and bass house scene?
I would say playing music to people. Like that's the best part for sure. Also, I have found like this is slightly different, but like actually just kind of growing my audience too has been like it's been quite a cool kind of experience, I suppose, going from like absolutely nothing to like now, like when I was walking around R&V, there would be the occasional person who would actually recognize me and be like, "Oh my God, you're far. You're like you done this." Oh, like like that's a surreal feeling, bro. Like when you actually have people that you have never seen before being like, "Oh my God, I know who you are." Yeah, also another amazing part is actually seeing other people kind of do well, I guess. Like my mate Lennox, Bro to Beats, he played on one of the big stages at R&V, and that was crazy to see because we both kind of started in the same place, and he's just way up there. And I've got my other mate Bidwa who just won this competition, and he's gonna do a back to back with the prototypes over in Europe, which is that's crazy to think about as well. Like it's amazing to see all these people that we kind of started with, and everyone's just kind of doing so well in their kind of own like avenues and stuff.
Yeah, when did you start making music? You've been making it for like a while now, eh?
Well, making my own music, I started, I want to say about October 2023. So about a year and a quarter ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first started, I was terrible, bro. Like, you look at my old stuff on Spotify, it's like, whew, jeez. But I've definitely improved a lot over the last kind of 5 or 6 months. Just, just being around, like, kind of learning off people is like, off people I think is the best way to do it. Like, you can learn stuff off YouTube, but it doesn't quite have that same effect, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you mentioned that you've played at Rhythm and Vines and you've got a bunch of friends who are playing on big stages, one playing in Europe and stuff. For you, where's the
Mm.
goal? What's the venue you want to play?
Yeah, like Tomorrowland is that's a dream, bro. Like EDC, Ultra, all those like huge festivals. I would love to play in this there's this one it's actually like an old IKEA in uh it's in England somewhere. It's called Drumsheds, you've probably heard of that. Yeah, and
I
that's
think
like
so, yeah.
15,000 people just in this bit massive warehouse. Like that would be cool too.
That's awesome. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be really, really cool. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's cool to think about like people, artists who have gone from performing at Rhythm and Vines and other like I don't want to say small festivals because it's definitely not a small festival, but people who
Yeah.
have gone from like Rhythm and Vines is insane. That's massive, but like people who have gone from there to selling out world stages and stuff, and I feel like especially in like the UK as well is a very big place for a lot of sort of electronic music.
Yeah, it is really cool to see people go from that. Like you have people like, Sicko, he's from Auckland, like it was like a year ago, he was just breaking in and now he's like he had like the full stage R&V, like absolutely heaving and all this. And it's like it's really cool to see that sort of stuff, eh? And you have
Yeah.
people like 33 Below. He used to live here in Wellington. He finished uni, went off to England. Now he's doing like amazing over there. And yeah, it's really cool to see.
Yeah, do you reckon you'll stay in New Zealand or you're gonna go somewhere else?
I'm definitely keen to kind of adventure out a bit pretty soon, I'd say. Like, I reckon after like 2025, I'll be pretty keen to, broaden the horizons a little bit, because there's a
Yeah.
lot more to it than just New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
exactly. Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
you've got a couple of songs out on Spotify, or actually quite a bit out on Spotify. When you're sort of
Yes.
making music, what's the process like when that sort of comes about? Do you sort of, I don't know, sample something or do you start from scratch?
Yeah. My general process that I usually go for is I'll just be kind of like looking around on Splice and I'll find like a vocal or a sample or something, and then just kind of build on that and like build up from there, I suppose. Like if you think about my recent one, Dreaming, it's got that big piano kind of sound in it. That's a sample I found, and then I just built everything else around that and made this like amazing tune that like that's one of my most proud tunes at this point, I think.
Hey, what's the go when
Mm.
you're sort of, I don't know, do you get creative block when you can't come up with anything or is it sort of just pretty good? You just kind of have ideas
Mm.
flowing with how you want things to sound.
I don't know. I've never really experienced any major creative block. Like I have a lot of, you see a lot of artists are talking about writer's block and all this and that. I'm like, I've never really experienced that myself. Um, I'm not too sure why. Like there definitely have been times where I'm just trying to do stuff and it's just not working. I don't know if that's writer's block because I'm still doing it, but it's just not kind of going how I want it to go, and that like sometimes that makes me really mad, and I'll just be like, just can't be asked. I don't
Yeah.
want to do this anymore type thing, and then I'll come back the next day and be fine. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah. No, no, I definitely haven't really experienced much of that. I don't think.
Who's sort of your who's the artist who inspire you to, I guess, keep going, keep making the music and just do what you're doing?
I think probably the biggest inspiration for me, probably actually the whole reason I initially changed from D&B to house as well, was James Hype. Like he just the way he does everything, like he does his weekly vlogs on YouTube, and I always watch those, and it's like I always just like I just love seeing what he's doing. I think is that's that real human connection that like, I just feel so inspired by. And there's like and I can also see the process of him making tunes as well. Like I can see how he makes it, like kind of what points he gets to when he needs to change something, all of this and like all of that sort of stuff. It really kind of helps me kind of move forward as well. But recently I've kind of moved slightly off that and I'm kind of like I'm going for a little bit more of like emotional sort of sound at the moment. Like it's really like somewhat uplifting, kind of hit you in the feels type music, if you know what I mean.
Well, like as you mentioned, James Hype does weekly vlogs. You've been doing some like daily reels on your Instagram and stuff. How's that all going?
Yeah, yeah, that's been quite the journey, eh? I'm like day like 166 or something now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's been quite something. Like there's been a lot of ups and downs in that. It was initially me and Broda Beats started it together, and it was like vlogging every day until Rhythm and Vines in an attempt to get booked for Rhythm and Vines, which did end up working in the end. And there was a lot of times where I was like, damn, I hate this, bro. I don't want to do this vlog anymore. I can't wait till I stop. But then like the last like month of the year, I was just kind of like I was like, damn, I might actually just keep going for a bit. Because like our initial plan was to stop like on January 1st. Linux did stop. He's taking a break at the moment, which is completely fair enough. But I don't know. I just like felt like I could keep going just because like it's a part of my life now. It's just a routine. I do it every
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
And like, yeah.
I'm assuming you don't really like film everything, but what's it like sort of now transitioning to filming a lot more? Is it weird having to, I guess, put a lot more of your life out there in the vlogs?
Yeah, definitely. Especially at the moment because well, most of the time I was in Wellington, but now I'm home in Mount Maunganui, like where I'm from, like around my family all the time. It is a bit weird. It is a bit weirder try like filming stuff. Um, but I like, I talk to all of them about it and they're like, yeah, we're fine being in your videos and all this and that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely was weird because I was pumping hard on the content before we started the vlogs too. So I was already kind of used to posting every day. But then that's just like that next level. Like I got to think about filming for tomorrow to edit tomorrow, and then also thinking about editing tomorrow. So it's like thinking about 3 days at once. At first,
Yeah.
that was really hard to get my head around. Yeah, but now it's pretty it's pretty easy now.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
understandable. Hey, let's come back and chat a little bit more about music. What's coming from you in the future? Is there anything you can sort of reveal there?
Yes, well, I do have another EP coming. I released the EP at the start of last year. It's kind of my first bit of music on Spotify, and now I've kind of come back a lot better than I was then. And I put together like 5 tunes. Dreaming is one of them on there too. That's kind of starts it off, then it goes into some other tunes. Kind of like it kind of dips into quite a few different sort of subgenres of tech house. Kind of goes a bit minimal, but there's quite an emotional one in there. And I did end it off with a little bit of drum and bass at the end as well, just because it's my roots, like
Yeah.
gotta try and chuck that in there. But
Awesome.
yeah, might as well. The release date is gonna be the 7th of February.
Anything you want to sort of plug, like your socials and your music? You want to give yourself a bit of a shout out?
Yeah, yeah. FFAR NZ on Instagram and TikTok as well. Yep, we're still vlogging every day, along with some other content too. I'm trying to trying to be a little bit more of an artist, I suppose, because recently I'm just some content creator. But yeah, yeah. And then yes, FAR on Spotify. Give us a follow, pump those monthly listeners up, And yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for chatting. It's been great. We'll definitely have to talk again. I think this was
Yes, bro.
initially supposed to be an in-person, but I think our
Yeah.
like schedules didn't quite line up.
Yeah, everything gets a bit crazy. Yeah, yeah.
I think I was leaving the mount the day you were going back there. I think something like that.
Yeah, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that, eh? Something mad.